Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand and welcome Faron and Gareth.
That's more scored for shut up. Right, so that's a problem table. Have we established that? All right. Right, yeah. Mute. Comprendo. Welcome everyone. For those who don't know who I am, I'm Lee, father of Faron, this beautiful and radiant bride, am I right? On behalf of Faron and Gareth, shut up. On behalf of Faron and Gareth, me and Lynn, John and Kay, I welcome you all here today. I want to particularly extend a warm welcome to those people who have travelled so far. It's a tribute to these two that many who have made such an effort to get here on this special day, and we appreciate you being here. It's a lovely setting, this, isn't it? It's very Pride and Prejudice, isn't it? Depending on how well the drink goes down, we may see Gareth emerging Darcy-like from the pond outside later, depending. Before I do the speechy thing, I'd like to be serious and ask for everybody to remember and reflect on the people who would have loved to have been here today to see this. So can I ask you all just to raise a glass and say to absent friends, absent friends. I can hardly describe how proud I am to be stood here today. The 25 years that Faron's been in our lives has just been like a finger click. And not knowing how to start this speech was a problem, so I started by having a look through some old photographs. There was one that sort of summed everything up for me. A cherubic face, looking up, surrounded by her little friends and her family holding her whilst she was unsteady on her feet. Drooling with food all down her dress, crying and laughing, you know, at the same time, the way kids do. It's the only picture I have of the end do, but it means so much to me. She had plenty of hurdles to overcome, like when she was at college, they decided to axe the subject halfway through her A-levels. But she possesses great tenacity, perseverance, and she's really organised, and has a great eye for detail. However, the same courtesy wasn't extended to the state of her bedroom when she lived at our house for many years. You keep laughing loud. We're getting there. Now we come to the famous holiday indiscretion that happened many years ago when she was very young. That has become legendary in our family and would make for a great extended Les Dawson-esque exposition. But it's too good not to be mentioned on a day like this. So I thought of distilling the finer points down to a short verse. This is it. Toddler in a ball pit, a find of something sinister. Black and yellow tape, disinfectant duly administered. So you can make your own narrative to that one. Wait till it's your turn. I couldn't be more proud of Faron. She's been a pleasure to be around for 25 years. She has such great qualities as a young woman, and I don't have to look further than this wonderful woman on my right here to realise why that is.
Oh, that's nice.
Gareth. Have it. I had every intention of giving this lad a glowing testimonial in the guise of the great American roasts. I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing. Zilch. Years of background checks, several useless private investigators, clean as a whistle. Maths PhD, multi-instrumentalist, Duke of Edinburgh Award, cat wrangler, dog whisperer, his abilities seem to know no bounds. When Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, the first indication that it would be a viable thing was when he got a missed call from Gareth. Thank you. But seriously, when he came into our lives, and I got to know him a bit better, I was really, really happy because I thought, finally, after all these years, someone who's on the same intellectual plane as me is in my life. What a relief. But still a work in progress, Gareth. So all I can say is watch and learn, son, watch and learn. It was very traditional when he took me to one side at a family birthday party and told me that he intended to propose to Faron on a holiday, and that I was the only one who knew at the time. Shortly after, I took my parents home, and on returning to the party, was met by a Lynn who exclaimed, "Hiya, what do you know?" And I said, "I know a lot of things." Subsequently, on a bridge in Cordoba, it came to pass that he would be my son-in-law, and we feel that we have been very blessed in that.
Yeah.
I don't want to drag this on any longer than I have to, because the shepherd's crook is looming large stage left. So I'll just say that Lynn and me are so proud of both of them. I'm sure they'll have a great life together. All that remains is to ask you all to raise your glasses and to toast this happy couple and wish them a happy and healthy future together. Faron and Gareth.
Faron and Gareth.
Thank you.
So first off, I just want to say thanks, Ali, for that fantastic speech. I think I've managed to sort of get rid of all the breadcrumbs, so you won't be able to find anything on me, which my KGB contacts did good. Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners that make our souls blossom. You guys are our charming gardeners, so I propose a toast to everyone here for making our souls blossom. Cheers. There's a toast in every single one of these cards, you know. So as you're all probably aware, we've been abusing everyone else's talents to make this day happen. So some thank yous are definitely in order. I'll try and avoid sounding like an Oscar acceptance speech, though. So firstly off to my mum, Catherine, and Elspeth, my sister, for making these fantastic favours and signs and the place names as well. You guys did absolutely fantastic, and they're sort of these people that can turn their hand to anything creative, whether it be Disney pictures or Gandalf paintings, or creating and illustrating a short story called How to Kill Two Brothers with One Axe. I'll save you the grisly details on that one. Thanks to this man over here, David, for being the photographer. I know you're going to do an absolutely fantastic job. Moreover, we bribed him with a massive amount of chocolate to make sure it happens. So thank you, David. Sean, you've been incredible since day one, since we got engaged. Just the sort of amount of effort and thought that you've put into all sorts of things in the wedding. I think on behalf of both of us, thank you. It really means a lot. You've obviously got more artistic flair in your little finger than me and Faron have in our whole bodies. So, and next to you, thanks to Ashley for hosting the stag do. We pretty much drank you out of alcohol, didn't we? Which, if you'd seen the house beforehand, it was a really impressive feat. So really well done to all the stags as well. You did a great job. Hannah, thanks for your capable hands for doing Faron's makeup. I know she was feeling really confident that you do an absolutely perfect job, and you really have, so thank you. Yeah, I guess, rounds of applause for everyone. Also to the ceremony readers, Keely and Elspeth and Bryn, you guys did a fantastic job, and it really made the ceremony like a personal affair, and that's what we really wanted. So thank you to you too. And then lastly, to Bryn as well for comparing. Where is Bryn? Oh, he's there. Sorry. Thanks for comparing tonight. So I guess to all those people, if we can just give them a round of applause, because really it's fantastic. Overall, we're just very, very lucky to have such sort of talented people in our lives to be able to help us. I should also mention that it's Eve's birthday today, so happy birthday, Eve. We have we have a knack of organising things on either her or our son's birthday. So don't worry, we'll make sure we have a massive anniversary party every year, so you never get to celebrate your birthday ever again. As Lee said, I think it's a real privilege to be here in Townley Hall. Not only is it a beautiful historic building, but it's something that is intertwined in Faron's family's history. Many of her family members have grown up just a short distance from here, and it's really an icon, and I think everyone from Burnley knows how much this place means to them. So being an outsider, it seems like a true homage to sort of be able to get married here. And I know it's a special place for her, so hopefully it can all be now a special place for you guys as well. Not many places can you sort of give speeches next to giant oil paintings and prices and investments. So in fact, I actually, in part of my research for my speech, looked at some 16th century wedding protocol. So instead of my speech, you'd actually be listening to something called the Holomy of Matrimony given by the priest, and I found a great excerpt in it, all for you guys, by the way. This is advice. When wives be stubborn, forward or malapert, their husbands are compelled thereby to flee from their own homes, as if they're battling with their very enemies. So in our first marital argument, I know what I'm going to do. Straight for the door, run down the street, pint at the pub and wait for it all to blow over. Of course, it's times like this when we think of those that are no longer with us. One particular gentleman would have had his bag packed 5 days ago. He would have been waiting outside the hotel now, really, checking his watch. Is it come, Maggie? We're going to miss the coach. But I know his huge smile would really only be matched by the size of his generous heart. And aside from the wedding present he would have undoubtedly given me, then he would have also pressed a £20 note into my hand for petrol or some excuse. I think it's really nice that we've got these Macmillan cards, because I know in the sort of later part of his life we were really blessed with the help from Macmillan Cancer, so that's why we're proudly wearing these pins. Also to my dad's mum and dad, I knew as Nan and Pop. Memories are mostly in the earlier part of my life, but they really shaped the person that I am today, I believe. To Lynn's dad, Faron's granddad, I know Faron didn't really know him, but he would be proud to see his granddaughter up today. And also a word for Faron's grandma and her step-granddad, who, due to health reasons, can't be here from Spain. So I know they're absolutely gutted not to be here, but so if we can just take a short moment just to pause and just fondly remember not only those I've mentioned, but anyone that you know that's not here anymore. So take a taste. Cheers.
You really want to make me forget?
I keep making her cry. First of many. Best bit stories I'd live, aren't they? Happiness, they say, is having a large, loving, close-knit family in another city. Joking aside, Mum and Dad, without your support, really, without your support and guidance, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Knowing all the young parents here today, you realise how much you owe your parents when you see young ones. It really opens your eyes. So I know you'll always be there with love, compassion and understanding. So thank you. Lynn and Lee, I'm constantly surprised and overwhelmed with your generosity and how welcoming you both are. Your help with the wedding, just for one thing, has been absolutely crucial. With the open mic night and everything that you've done organising, just really wouldn't have happened without them. You've raised a beautiful and intelligent daughter. I'll leave you two to argue over which trait comes from who. I consider myself proud and lucky to become your son-in-law. So now I propose another toast to long-suffering parents. I should talk about my wife now, I think. first impressions, they say, really matter. That first impression that you make to someone really kind of defines how that person thinks about you, supposedly. So me and Faron met at Freshers Week, and I don't know if anyone's done a Freshers Week before, but it's an interesting mix of anxiety, excitement, and nerves, all washed down with an extreme amount of alcohol. So what impression did I make on this young 18-year-old impressionable Faron? Well, I had a bright pink Nokia phone. And Ross, my good friend, told everyone before I'd arrived that I was studying contemporary arts. I had long blonde locks, and I came into the room. So I wonder what impression that made on Faron. Maybe it lowered the guard, I don't know. I was then also complicit in giving Tom Scott a concussion shortly afterwards. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Love you. Time's moved on. I've got a new phone. Tom's concussion has mostly healed. Mostly. And Faron is absolutely radiant today. When I saw her down the aisle, that image will stick with me for a very, very long time. I'm sure you'll all agree that she was absolutely beautiful. It was also a testimony to her commitment as a friend, just to the size of the bridal train. It was reminiscent of one of those like North Korean missile parades. It's like troops going on, yeah. But it's no wonder, because she's a compassionate, caring, honest person who shows that no matter what task is at hand, she takes great care to see it through. And this has been proven time and time again, personally, professionally, and I'm so very proud of you. If it's not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages, then I'm in luck, because you're also my best friend, you understand me, and most importantly, you don't get rattled when I lose everything. Keys, wallet, keys again, shoes, the car. You get the picture. We tend to forget that happiness doesn't come as a result of getting something that we don't have, but it's about appreciating what we do have, and I intend to do that every day from now on, all the way through the journey that is marriage with my wife. So a toast to my beautiful wife, Mrs. Case.
Mrs. Case.
It's nearly over. Just a few more thank yous. Groomsmen, you were absolutely fantastic today. You made me nice and calm, and you ran the show, and you were just brilliant dog's bodies, and I knew I could rely on all of you. So thank you. Also, speaking of that North Korean missile train, bridesmaids, you all look dazzling. You look really good. I'd have preferred you in full military regalia, but you got to make do, haven't you? In no part thanks to Nana for steaming the dresses and dealing with wedding dress emergencies, I believe. I'm sure much fun was had this morning getting ready.
Yeah.
Harlan and Elsie, you guys are the star of the show as well. You look really cute. So that's the end of my speech. So now up is Tom, who goes back a long, long way. I have memories of eating spam and beans cooked on the fire in Weymouth Forest, and also swimming in the River Trent as well. But anyway, I'll pass the word on to him. So, thanks.
So when Gareth asked me to do his groomsman speech, obviously it was a big honour, but I've never spoke at a wedding before, so I had to do a bit of research on what makes a good groomsman speech. It turns out there's three separate things, three options you can go. The first one is to big up Gareth and really promote him, say he's really good at maths and really good at park runs and stuff like that. Now, obviously, as we've all seen, Faron has she's already gone through with it, so I don't need to big up Gareth. That's fine. So, option one, out the window. Option two, I should find all of Gareth's embarrassing stories and tell you all of them. Tell you anything I can find. Knockout punches, drunken bike rides, skinny dipping in the Trent, any stories that involve alcohol, nudity, farm animals. Ideally, all three in one story as well. That'd be really good. However, with Dr. and Mrs. Case present, and with Gareth's brother being an officer of the law. I thought those stories I'll save for another time. So that's option 2 out. So option 3 is to give advice to the newlyweds. Now, I'm not married, so I can't give marriage advice. So instead, what I thought I would do was find some other advice to give, specifically advice from this book, which is published in the early 1950s, and it's called The Threshold of Marriage. And it gives some sound 1950s advice on what to do and not do in a marriage. There are some absolute gems of chapters in here that I shan't read out because I don't really have the courage to talk about. But one or two sections that I will read out to you. So the first bit is specifically advice for Gareth. This is from page 7. Marriage is an art. Quote, "A woman's emotions, as a rule, are more quickly stirred than a man's. She reacts more promptly to her immediate surroundings. She is more easily moved to laughter or tears. A man tends to be absorbed in a few main interests, often outside the home. And where those are not concerned, he is apt to be bored." So, worth noting. Another bit, this is specifically some advice for Faron. This section, by the way, is called What is a Man and What is a Woman? So this bit, quote, "A man has, on the whole, smaller reserves of energy than a woman. She can miss a meal or a proper night's sleep with less discomfort than he. If a wife finds that her husband, when he comes home from work, does not take a keen interest in household affairs until he has had a square meal, that is not because he is greedy or merely pig-headed." And this is in italics, so this really meant something. "Feed him before you tell him about the day's events." So, some sound advice. I have one other little bit. And this is quite a nice bit, actually, to be fair to the 1950s. And this is to Gareth, or about Gareth, should I say. "Because he has his wife's happiness in his hands, he should show her all possible tenderness and affection. She, in turn, will make herself as attractive, intelligent, and cheerful a companion as she can." So, some nice bits of useful advice there. There are, as I say, other chapters. There's a whole section on marriage and married intercourse that I shan't go into, obviously. Worth knowing, because you are such a modern couple, so I thought it'd be good to ground you with some advice from the 1950s. However, obviously, that's not hugely relevant to you. So what I wanted to do was find some more advice, specifically for Gareth, specifically on how to deal with being married to a northern gal. So having a bit of a Google round, bit of a look round, and there's lots of anecdotal advice. First one, always have a brew readily on hand, day or night, which I think is fair, and also that brew has to be very strong. But I wanted to go deeper than that. I wanted to find some proper useful advice for Gareth with getting with a northern lady. So I actually found a proverb specifically about interacting with northern British women, and it actually came from, or it's attributed to about 100 AD. So it has stood the test of time. It is a Roman proverb, so excuse my Latin, but it is "Cave septentrionellum Britanniam muleris, sumta crita mitigare protesti," which very, very loosely translates to "Beware northern British women, they are fierce and cannot be tamed." So probably should have given that to Gareth a few years ago, but aren't we all glad I didn't tell him? So yes, looking at my time, I've still got 2 or 3 minutes left, so I do just want to go into one quick story, and this is the story of when we found out that Gareth had a girlfriend up north. So obviously Gareth had left us in Nottinghamshire, come up here, and it was big news, Gareth coming up. And then we found out he had a girlfriend. That was, again, very big news. Then we found out she was northern. That was even bigger news. And we were obviously, incredibly pleased, really happy. And then Gareth brought her down to meet us all in Ravenshead. Met her in a pub. And to be fair to Gareth, he's an all right looking chap. He's a bit blonde, but he's all right. And then so you can imagine when he brought Faron around the corner. You've seen Faron. We were particularly impressed. And we kind of desperately wished Gareth all the best of luck in trying to keep it, and we kind of really wished him all the luck we could. But the special thing about Gareth and Faron, and the more serious thing now, is the fact that whilst it's lovely that we are all here essentially doing the same thing, wishing them both good luck. They don't actually need our luck, because they're a perfect couple. Gareth is fundamentally he's a decent chap. He's lovely, and then you've got Faron who's just such a genuine person. So they're absolutely made for each other, and they're suited for each other as well. So it's lovely we're all here to wish you luck, and I will still wish you luck at the end of this toast. But you don't need it. You don't need it. Now I'm going to take liberty with my toasts, because I'm stood up here. So I'm going to actually propose 3 toasts. So the first toast, if I may, is to the North and the Northern women. The second one is to Nottinghamshire and Nottinghamshire men. And the last toast is to a perfect union of the two in Gareth and Faron. That's me done.
I'm going to look this way. Because I find that statue very distracting. Anyway, for those of you who haven't had yet the misfortune of getting to know me, I'm Beth. I've known Faron since we met in year 7. I moved into a class, and she's the only one that spoke to me, and I've been corrupting her innocent mind ever since. Faron, you look fantastic. Hell yeah, you're the mother princess. Gareth, you'll do. And it's so nice to see everyone. It's been a while. Got my Joneses, my second family, the Scottish Joneses. Where are you? Wee Elsie, baby cheese. Nana and Grandad. Well done, Nana, on all the dresses. You worked so hard, and look at us, we look fantastic. The girls, of course. Some of the Lancaster crew I've met before, and all of these well-spoken Southerners I can only assume are part of your party. Gareth, lovely to meet you all, and welcome to Burnley. It turns out writing a speech was way harder than I thought it would be, because I can't do the talks like the talks on the TV, and I certainly can't do a love song like it's the way it's meant to be. So I tried writing a poem, and I did not know where that was going. Then a limerick. There once was a girl named Faz who met a boy named Gaz. So on the flight over here, I sat next to this weird little Scottish lad who wrote a rap for you. So I'm just give you a little snippet of that, and no offence, Lauren, I'm going to do my best Scottish accent. He also did a rap about Theresa May. It was interesting. Love is true when I'm with you, never blue. Like glue stuck to you. Want to be with you no matter what you do. Together we can push through. Fly free like a butterfly. Sometimes it's hard and I cry. But when I look in your eye, I know we are meant to be, you and I. Promise to try, and if I don't succeed, to try and try again. I've decided not to that to be my whole speech. guy next to me on the plane wrote that. So, don't even know his name. Anyway, so after all that effort, I just decided to ramble on aimlessly and hope for the best. So I've been living away for a while, which is great and everything, but it does mean I miss out on a lot. So I miss the engagement do, the sten do, and luckily we managed to have a bit of a mini hen do when we got Charlotte and Hannah over, when Faron came on holiday. Jet ski with a hangover, don't do that. Just don't. Anyway, knowing Faron so long, like, we've got pretty close. We even made the old classic pact. If we're not married by we're 30, we're going to elope as lesbians. 5 years, Gareth. 5 short years. Could you just... Hey, Gareth's great, though. I first met him in his freshers year while I was visiting Faron in Lancaster. He was there on a hockey social. I got introduced. He said, "I've been sick twice already. Who's coming to Sugar House?" And I knew from that moment he was a keeper. But honestly, you know, Gareth, I know you treat her like a lady. I feel like not only has Faron found the love of her life, but I've picked up a really good mate along the way. And I really couldn't trust anyone more with my best friend's heart. Faron, I hope he loves you like the stars above and loves you till he dies. Otherwise, I'll kill him. So. And it really is an honour to be friends with you both. I'm so proud of everything you've achieved over the past few years. You really just... Anyway, I've been told to keep moderately sober and say nothing too inappropriate until the speech is done. I'm done now, so let's get royally pushed!